Hi everybody, it's Miss Motzi and it is Thursday, September 20th. Today we started our mapping project, so let's go ahead and look at the 5 objectives that we're working on and also our agenda for today. Alright, so again, today is Thursday, September 20th. It's an A day. I met with 5th block and 7th block. We have 5 objectives that we're going to be working on for about the next week. They're very important objectives and they are very skill-driven objectives, which is sort of a nice thing because you can either do them or you can't do them. They're not so much about like memorizing facts or anything like that. So the first objective is on latitude and longitude and being able to locate points on a map using latitude and longitude in degrees and all the way down to minutes. The second objective is about finding distance on a map using the map scale. So are you able to find the distance from point A to point B just by using the scale on the bottom of the map? The third objective is looking at topographic maps and being able to find spot elevations, like the elevation of a specific location, but also being able to find or calculate the slope from point A to point B on a topographic map. Fourth objective is a hard one. This one we're definitely going to have to spend some class time teaching everyone. This is about constructing a topographic profile. It's like a cross section. So if you were to take that Play-Doh mountain that you made last class, I guess, and cut it in half, that's the profile of it. So you're going to be learning to construct that on graph paper. The fifth objective is about being able to read topographic maps. So a topo map has contour lines on it, and those contour lines make specific shapes. And once you get more skilled at looking at topographic maps, you're going to start to be able to read the map and understand what shapes mean which landforms. So already I think some students would be able to identify hills and rivers just from the activity that we did with the Play-Doh. All right, so those are the objectives we're going to be working on for the next week. Here was our agenda for today. We started out by taking a quiz on the scientific method. It was a quick 10-question multiple choice quiz. If you were not here today, you want to make sure that you come in and see me as soon as possible to take that so that you can make that quiz up. Then we introduced the map project. Students then had about 30 to 40 minutes to work on their learning log. So you were just learning about the different topics and then logging in what you were learning and what resource you were using. After that, we did a little bit of group question generation. You guys got into groups and you started to talk about what are the questions that you are going to have to research so that you can take an explorer's field notes and actually turn them into a map. Like, how do you go from just notes to an actual map? We ended class with an exit ticket on latitude and longitude. For homework tonight, you should be working on your mapping project. We are going to be working on this in class, but you will not have enough time in class to finish this project. You're definitely going to have to work on this outside of class. All right, so let's take a look at your exit ticket answers. So here's the exit ticket. It has a picture of Africa, and the question or prompt says, a student found the latitude and longitude of Luanda to be 9 degrees east, 14 degrees south. Do you agree or disagree? Justify your answer. The first thing that you need to do is find Luanda. And here it is. If you can see my cursor moving, it's right here in the middle of Africa. And then the second thing you need to do is think about our last lesson on latitude and longitude. So if you remember this from last class, you worked on this in class and then I talked about it, I think in one of the videos I made also. But this is a grid system, and this is how latitude and longitude works. So whenever you're trying to locate a point on Earth with latitude and longitude, the first thing you're doing is saying, where's the equator? Where's the 0 degree line? That's a latitude line. Then you're figuring out where your point is and you're thinking, okay, is my point north of the equator or south of the equator? So it is one of these lines, or is it one of these lines? Latitude is flat, right? Then once you figure out if it's north or south, you're thinking how many degrees north is it of the equator, or how many degrees south of it is of the equator. Then you switch to longitude. And when you do longitude, longitude is long, it's going up and down. You have to locate where is the prime meridian, because that's the 0 degree line, it's right here. And then you're thinking like, okay, is my point west of the prime meridian or east of the prime meridian? So always remember that west and east spell we. So west is going to be on this side right here, and east is going to be on this side right here of the prime meridian. We're always talking about in relation to the 0 degree line or the 0 degree equator line. All right, so you have to keep those basics down. Like, always keep those basics down when you're working with latitude and longitude, and you have to be thinking like latitude is the first number reported, longitude is the second number reported. So your latitude in relation to the equator, your longitude in relation to the prime meridian, the 0 degree line. So let's take a look at that map again of Africa. So here we are, and we're going to find the equator. The equator is right here. You can either look for the word equator or you can look for the 0 degree line over here. Latitude, latitude, there's the equator line. Luanda is underneath the equator or south of the equator. Then you have to think, well, how far south? Okay, Luanda is between the 0 degree and the 10 degree. I would estimate that to be 9 degrees south of the equator. So you have your latitude number. Then you're thinking longitude. All right, so where is the prime meridian? The prime meridian is a longitude line. It's going up and down. It's the 0 line. It's right here. Now, where is Luanda in relation to the prime meridian? Is it west of the prime meridian or is it east of the prime meridian? And in this case, it is east of the prime meridian. Then you have to ask yourself, how many degrees east is it? So you come down here and you look, and it's in between the 10 and the 20. I would estimate that to be about 14 degrees east of the prime meridian. So your latitude and longitude coordinates are 9 degrees south and 14 degrees east. So hopefully you disagreed with this because the student flip-flopped. They got confused about their latitude and longitude directions. The correct answer would be 9 degrees south, 14 degrees east. All right, so the last thing I want to talk to you about today is your learning log on your mapping project. This is not something that you want to skimp on or ignore in any way. You want to put the majority of your work into this learning log. It's going to pay off when you actually go to do the project. So when we look at the learning log, it looks like this, and your learning log should have your name on your actual file name if you're in the correct learning log. So in the first column, you're writing, what do you already know about latitude and longitude? You probably know a lot because you've been learning about latitude and longitude since 4th grade. But what do you know about finding distance with a scale? What do you know about topographic maps? Maybe you don't know that much. In this column, you're just writing what you know. The second column here, you're putting in the resources that you're using. At this point, hopefully, you're using more than one resource, because for topographic maps, you probably don't know that much yet, so you need to use more than one resource. The more you read, the more videos you watch, the more you look at the textbook, the more you're gonna learn. That's the way it works. This column right here, the evidence for learning, this is where you're proving that you're actually learning. So that could be shown in a couple of different ways, and it's better if you have multiple ways that you're showing your learning. You could be taking notes while you're watching videos or looking at the PowerPoints or looking at different websites, and then you take a picture of those notes and upload them into this section here. You could be writing a paragraph explaining what you know about that topic, or you could be making a how-to video. Like I said, I love this unit because it's all skills-based. You can either do it or you can't. So if you can do it, then you could make a how-to video showing somebody else how to do it, and that's proof to me that you know what you're talking about right now. The fourth column over here is need to know questions. So this is where you want to keep a list of questions that come into your head as you're trying to make your project, as you're trying to make your maps. Questions might might come to your head in the beginning, they might come to your head in the middle. Whenever a question pops into your head, jot it down, and then when you have access to your learning log, make sure that you log it in here. All right, that's all for today. I hope everybody has a great afternoon, and I will see you on Monday.